Yeah, what's up, Joe? What's up, Dan? Oh, it's gonna take forever to load because... Oh no, it didn't. Interesting.
Slayer.
It's not the spawn I expected, though. I'm pretty sure you get different spawns based on which disc you're on for starting spawns. It's either how recently, or which, like, I know, like, which Xbox emulator update you're on can affect it, but it might also be, like, cache status. I don't know how it's choosing the initial random spawn, but your starting spawn is random, but if you're playing a solo game and you, like, just launch the console, then you can get, like, the same result, like, every time. So I'm not really sure exactly the mechanics for how it chooses your starting spawn, but I think maybe changing discs does, because I don't ever play on the Chinese disc, and I also don't ever get this spawn, which makes me think those are related. And I've seen some other stuff similar to that. But also, this is my first time playing Headlong since loading from an empty cache, so maybe it's cache status and not language status. Alright, let's just jump into it.
嗯，反正这些都已经过时了。
这套全新的 Mark 6战斗服是今天早上才送到的，先放轻松，并且试试看，过一会儿就会习惯了。
Yeah, let's get started.
来，我们先试试目标定位的功能，
请瞄准上方的光点。
好啊，
现在瞄准下方的光点，
不错。
再瞄准上方的光点。
对，就这样。
下方的光点。
好的。
好的。
检查完成，请稍等，我得把约束器离线。动一动，试试看感觉如何。当你准备好了，请到遥控站跟我碰面。
I've always kind of wanted to learn the Chinese pronunciation better, like the tonalness of it. I tried practicing learning Mandarin for a little while. It's hard.
这就对了，有没有发现充电的速度变快了？如果防护罩的能量用完了，尽快找到烟货，并等待防护罩充电完成。
哦，到时候躲在我背后就行了。你们到底玩够了没有？怎么没看到什么健身器材呢？
他的护甲没问题。靠 ，AJ Johnson。
It's even more tragic now that you've heard his joyful laughter.
包在我身上。 强森，你什么时候要跟俺说你平安归来是怎么办到的？兵器官，外星人想杀我，等下辈子吧。嘿，俺个屁了！你可以忘记 A2 狙击。
Are there any other like sincere laughs in all of Halo? I know there's like the heretic leader that's like ah ha ha Arbiter, and he's like kind of taunting Arbiter, but it's not really laughter. Is that like the only laughter in the whole franchise?
多年不见喽。
Where else is there laughter?
上次离开时，地球轨道防卫网还只是理论跟政治上的理想而已。你看看，开罗现在已经是300个与地球同步自转的太空站之一了。那座 Make 炮只需要一发就可以贯穿星盟的主力舰。如果在于雅典跟马耳他两处的武力，
I guess maybe grunts probably have some form of laughter. You could they like make noises that sound like laughing. I don't know if it's, but yeah, I don't think any of the, I don't think there's any laughter in all of Halo. That's crazy. No romance, no laughter in the first trilogy. They didn't start adding sexual themes until the fourth. I always hated it. I thought that was the weirdest thing they did for Halo 4 was make Master Chief and Cortana a love story. I knew I was completely checked out of caring about the lore when that happened. Recently, the alpha versions, like the pre-release versions of Halo 4 have been leaking, and they found the early like beta versions of the last level, and it was called Midnight Kiss instead of just Midnight, and Cortana and Chief were supposed to kiss at the end, and I mean, we'd already known that, like, there'd already been rumors and stuff, and it was very obvious, like, sexual overtones in that whole little blue bubble cutscene, but they found the Midnight Kiss level. It is real. That whole sexual cutscene at the end of Halo 4 really, like, ruins the game for me. It's very weird. The devs were clearly gooning, like, people try to say, no, it's a love story of, like, brother and sister, or they were helping each other. No, those devs were fucking gooning, man. Just gooning devs writing their fanfic. Yeah, the Marine's Nate did help me out there for sure. But I would have played differently if he wasn't there, so... But I did get Marine help for once.
Cortana, 评估报告。雅典和马耳他的爆炸都发生在太空站的内部，一定是西蒙在进攻期间安装了炸弹。那这里肯定也有。士官长，找出炸弹。
Oh, you're right. Guilty Spark definitely laughs. Yeah, that's it. You found it. But again, that's almost like mocking laughter, but he definitely does laugh. The dead sounds are so funny.
报告，登舰的入侵者已突破火力控制中心，发现地方炸弹。
That's not the grenade I was
士官长，
shooting.
你快去处理炸弹。布塔纳，设定金属背后自由射击。
马尔他状况如何？请回答。
真不敢相信，敌人正在撤退，我们赢了。第一小队跟我来，我们来料理这些巡洋舰。第二小队进行牵制行动。
扫描截杀区内所有的敌舰，13艘巡洋舰，2艘攻击航母，敌方重兵压境。
哦，太好了，现在该怎么办呢？
报告，巡洋舰已穿越防线，舰队直扑开罗。布塔纳，集中火力于第一艘巡洋舰。将军尽可能先对付第二个。
Yeah, well, I'll stay on Mandarin, I guess, until somebody pays me to change the language again. $10, I'll swap in a new disc once the runs die.
第一艘巡洋舰完全不理会我们，它已穿越马耳他的岩层地带，直扑地球而去。
You have to actually change discs as well to change language. There's no like menu setting for it. So I have a one of every version because that's the kind of person I am. I'm sure I'm one of like only a couple people in the world who have every language of this game.
情况刻不容缓，士官长。
看我们的陆战队，扫荡坠机地点，快快快！
How many language copies are there? 6 or 7 or something? French, English, German, Spanish, Italian. That's 5. Korean, Mandarin, Japanese, so 8. How long did it take me to collect them all? It happened over the course of a couple years. The first one I got was English, and then we learned that Japanese was faster because there was a Japanese runner in the community named History, and he submitted runs on the Japanese version, and we noticed that there were some dialogue differences. So that was the first one I bought just because I knew it was faster. And then a couple years later, somebody decided to do the research and actually figure out all of them and which is the fastest. So Chemist, he extracted the audio from every single version and compared them. We basically made a spreadsheet of like which sections matter. Like on Outskirts, none of the dialogue matters, so we didn't have to count Outskirts. But on Cairo, a lot of it does, so we have to like add up which sections count and which don't. And we made a big spreadsheet and we counted all the sections, and we came up with German being the fastest. And we also learned that like French is faster for some levels, and so we learned that like with the current skips that we're doing, we learned which are the fastest, but also new skips get found and that you start to skip dialogue, so it changes over time. So like sometimes you learn how to skip a door and now it changes, but I just kind of picked them up like one at a time over the years.
士官长，母体刚才释出一批单体空降舱，他们正朝你的方向前进。
And then once I got to like 5 of them, I was like, okay, well, I might as well get the last couple.
我一直都在分析西蒙部队的战略对台内容，他们显得既惊讶又疑惑，他们没料到我们会出现在这里，包括你。
It's only a concern for Classic, correct? It doesn't matter on MCC.
奇怪对吧？不过这的确解释了他们怎么只派出小规模的舰队出发。
继续前进。
Some of them I overpaid for. I think the most expensive one I paid like 125 for. That one I definitely overpaid a lot. On average, they're actually really cheap. Like the Japanese version I bought, I think I spent $15 on, It's the steel bookcase. It shipped basically brand new. It was open but like pristine, and it was only $15. On average, you can get them between like 20 and 30. But recently, I actually attempted to order a new German copy because I kind of wanted to preserve the one that I'd been grinding world record on. Somebody offered to buy it, and I kind of want to like just have it as an item. So I wanted to get a backup German copy, and I reached out to a German seller on eBay, and I asked him if he ships to the US, and he sent me like a 5-paragraph long rant about how no, he will not, and the policies of our global trade are making his job way harder, and he will absolutely not ship to me in the US. I was like, alright, fair. I get it. I even offered to like pay way over. I told him I'd send him like 50 extra bucks for shipping. Whatever it normally was, I said I'd add 50 to it. And he was like, no, not happening. So I guess maybe it's harder today to collect them all than it was. But when I was collecting them, it was actually pretty easy to find them. No way! No way! There's no way. There's no way. I disagree. There's no way the Ghost does that to my Warthog. The Ghost is supposed to flip up and out of the way, not make my vehicle flip up and out of the way. What the hell is that?
反正这些都已经过时了。
这套全新的 Mark 6战斗服是今天早上才送到的，先放轻松，并且试试看，过一会儿就会习惯了。来，我们先试试目标定位的功能，
请瞄准上方的光点。
好啊，
现在瞄准下方的光点。
不错，
再瞄准上方的光点。
对，就这样。
下方的光点。
好的。检查完成，请稍等。
Vacationing to buy locally isn't a straw buyer.
试试看感觉如何。
Straw buying is where you like have somebody like buy a gun for you because you legally can't buy one, so you send somebody else to do it for you. But if I were to fly to Germany and pick up my own copy, that's not straw buying.
这套新战斗服的防护罩很强，能够保护你的安全。
Or even still, if I had a German like buy it for me and then ship it to me, you could maybe say that's straw buying, but not in the traditional sense of the word. But if I had a local German guy buy it and then decide to ship it to me, that's not... the seller wouldn't be mad about that. The seller still made their sell under normal principles. Then the buyer decides to eat the cost of the tariffs and take on the global trade policy. I don't think any seller would be mad if a local German guy came in and bought it and then shipped it to the US. That'd be crazy.
你平安归来是怎么办到的？兵器官，外星人想杀我，等下辈子吧。嘿，安个屁了！你可以忘记 A2 狙击镜的设定。 也保证你拿不他现在心情很好，或许因为 Who 的统帅忘记邀请他了。
Like, it's just business. He doesn't want to sell to me because business sucks to sell to the US. I get it. I'm not blaming him.
多年不见喽。
But if I had a friend like go to Germany and buy it for me, that wouldn't be bad business for the seller.
你看看，开罗现在已经是300个与地球同步自转的太空站之一了。 那座 Make 炮只需要一发就可以贯穿星盟的主力线。如果在与雅典跟马耳他两处的武力联合，敌人休想活着离开这个防御阵地， 所有航舰在今天上午全都报到了，但大家都不愿多谈，似乎有什么大事就要发生了。
注意，敌方登陆部队入侵。
The audio mixing is so different on this one compared to all of the others. I feel like this one was definitely recorded and like put into the game under completely different circumstances. Like the announcement Lord Hood on the microphone, he doesn't have the same like crackly like that line right there. It doesn't have the same booming background like loudspeaker effect. The volume on like elite deaths is not like attenuated properly. I don't know, there's a bunch of like weird volume and mixing differences I've noticed in the language. It definitely feels way different. Yo, Vinny, thank you so much. Am I getting the Deathless run today? Honestly, I think so. I think it's happening. If I can make it through this door. Come on, man. First try. Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate it. Like, that elite sounded too close, if that makes sense. I don't know, their volumes are wrong. It's actually kind of confusing. I use the loudness of like elite noises to know like who's weak, who's taking damage, where they're at in the room. It's so weird that all of the sound is so different. Oh, this I can make Miranda speak English, I think. Pretty sure this is where it happens. You're supposed to speak English. She has an English line. We won't say it. Some of the, like, they translated all of the dialogue, obviously. A couple of them didn't get translated, and one of hers is one of them that didn't. Let's see. I want to try to force it. Oh, I can't. Can't go back. Let's see if I can make the... Oh man, no checkpoint between here and there. Whatever. Go again.
反正这些都已经过时了。
Dude, I watched
全新的 Mark 6战斗服是今天早上
the Rixer earlier this morning. His Twitch stream, he did a challenge, name 1,000 speedrunners.
我们先试试。
I feel like I could probably get close, but it would take a long time for me to go through all my memories. But there aren't many people in the speedrunning world who could do that. It was pretty impressive to see him just... He sat down for like 3.5 hours, and without reading chat, without looking things up, he named 1,000 speedrunners.
动一动，试试看感觉如何？等你准备好了，请到遥控站跟我碰面。
专心点，我只讲一遍。本站将测试你的能量护盾。
这套新战斗服的防护罩很强，能够保护你的安全。这就对了。有没有发现充电的速度变快了？如果防护罩的能量用完了，尽快找到烟货，并等待防护罩充电完成。
哦，到时候躲在我背后就行了。
I just checked the list. I made it. I made it at number 800. I didn't see when or if he ever said my name. I just found the list. He made it through 839 speedrunners before he thought of MisterMonopoli. That makes sense though. He's not in the Halo community. He doesn't watch FPS games. He's a PlayStation runner. He does Jack and Daxter and Ratchet.
你平安归来是怎么办到的？兵器官，外星人想杀我，等下辈子吧。嘿，安个屁了！你可以忘记 A2 狙击镜的设定，俺也保证你拿不到。他现在心情很好，或许因为酷的统帅忘记邀请他了。
Having the game in another language does make it faster, but this language is actually slower. I'm doing it just because people asked. German is the fastest. Mandarin Chinese is one of the slowest, but it's fun to show them off.
开罗现在已经是300个与地球同步自转的太空站之一了。那座 Make 炮只需要一发就可以贯穿星盟的主力舰。如果在与雅典跟马耳他两处的武力联合
Zurslop, I doubt, made it. Zoo did not make it. No Halo speedrunners except me and Waifu made it. He thought of Waifu as a different runner than thought of me. It's funny, you can see the train of thoughts that he's going down. There's like chunks of like Spyro, chunks of the Jack, chunks of Ratchet and Clank through his like he's basically just going through every game he's ever like interacted with and naming like the top 5 or 10 speedrunners he can think of. It's kind of cool. Naming 1,000 people is not so easy. 1,000 is a lot. I could probably get a couple hundred out of Halo, and then I would have to get like 5 each for like 50 games. I don't know if I could do it. I could get close. I could get a lot of Halo, Mario, GoldenEye, Zelda. I could maybe do it. I kind of want to do a really funny meme and prank the Rixer, because he did it as a speedrun. He ran a timer. I want to take his exact list and memorize it and riddle it off faster and just upload it as a PB and tell him I beat him. But make it, it's a lot of work to memorize 1,000 names, but I really want to memorize his exact list as a meme. I think it would be funny. You got the mug? Hell yeah, donut. Happy birthday. I saw there was a comment associated with the order. Appreciate it.
那这里肯定也有。士官长，找出炸弹。
那是武器还是收电筒？
I've heard good things about the mug and the beanie, actually. Apparently the merch store is actually really good quality. So that's cool. I was worried it was gonna be like knockoff, crappy, like dinky products whenever I was looking for a good store that was like good value versus quality. And this was one of the ones I was seeing recommended. So seems like I got good recommendations. The "we go again" text is funny. Yeah, I thought it was like funny and thematic with my stream and with coffee. Like, the idea of having coffee every morning is the same thing as like resetting, doing my run. We go again. Will you leave me alone? This is the longest I've ridden the elevator in years. That's funny. So you knew what it was immediately before she even gave it to you? You were bringing in the packages? That's funny. Nah, maybe I'm just cool with your GF. I've been sending her all sorts of gifts. Mr. Steal Yo Girl, not Mr. Monopoly. You haven't found it, Ocon? Because we don't really know, which is kind of crazy, I know. It's recreatable and we know the steps to do it, but we don't actually know the intricate details of why it works. So I haven't made an explanation video and no one else has either, because we don't have all the full picture. I can make a tutorial and I can tell you how to recreate it, but in terms of the actual details and the code, we've looked. You would think, like, there are obviously, so that I've said the sentence, immediately people are going to have, like, ideas and they're going to suggest them. And I promise you, we've explored them. So you might think, oh, well, you're messing with your hitbox, right? Like every other game. Well, we have the hitbox data. We can visualize it. We have the full hook into the Havoc, like, hitbox viewer. We can look at it in real time as it happens. And it's not our hitbox. Nothing's changing on our hitbox. We're not storing speed, we're not building a number. We have, like, the ability to use Cheat Engine and look at, like, the memory in real time as it's changing on PC. We have tools to, like, look at the values of the addresses that we think are relevant. And we can't find anything. Like, it's... in some way, we're clearly manipulating our hitbox, like, or something along those lines, but we can't actually find the data with it. But the gist of it is, basically, you run into the box over and over again, it messes up your hitbox in some way, and then you can clip through some nearby walls. You have to do it, like, on the same polygon, like, for the most part. Traversing the game world updates your hitbox and, like, resyncs you, so you can't keep the offset forever. It's only, like, temporary and nearby. Different things like crouching will make it stop working, checkpoints will make it stop working. So if you get a checkpoint in the middle of it, it will just like reset. We know a bunch of facts about it, but we don't have the full picture. Oh, also it doesn't work on Master Chief Collection. If you're trying it on MCC and wondering why it's not working, it's not possible. I'm on the original version of the game. You can use mods to make it possible on MCC. It's because of some tick rate changes. It has to do with how fast the physics updates. The physics updates like twice as fast on MCC compared to Classic. So all the physics calculations are a little bit different with things like collision, like running into a wall, or the way that you move on the ground, the way that gravity works, the way that collisions happen with vehicles. Yeah, you're definitely not wrong, Ari, for the win. It's going to be a floating thing where it's like 0.0001 off. But where and why? But I think it's probably tied to the fact that Blam and Havoc are both running their own interpretations of hitboxes, I think. And I think it's a mismatch between the Blam and the Havoc representations. But the crazy part is I just don't know where. We have theories, like, I say we don't know. We have a lot of information that I could just info dump. Like, people have been working on it. It's just crazy we don't have, like, a simple explanation like people want. Do I think they'll make another Halo 2 again? I mean, they're remaking Halo 1, which makes you assume that they're at least going to do the whole trilogy. If they're adding Halo 1 to PlayStation, why would they not add Halo 2 and 3? I guess if it sells, like, terribly, they won't. But there's no way I keep dying here. Okay, saved. I've lost so many runs there recently, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I think it's probably a pretty safe bet that we will be seeing a Halo 2 remake if the Halo 1 remake has even like a small amount of success. I'm worried that it's not gonna have very much success though, partly because like, who's it made for? It has no multiplayer, like. So it's made for a very specific subset of people who want to play the campaigns, right? But, like, all the old people have already played the campaigns. We've played it on Steam, we've played it on Xbox. So it's not for old people, it's for new people. Well, if new people wanted to play it, MCC is still the better choice because you get to play Halo 1, 2, and 3. So it's made for new people on the PlayStation? Is that the audience, the only audience they're targeting? Because who else actually wants to play this game? Like, yeah, okay, they're adding 3 new missions or 4 new, however many, like, I know there's new lore, and so, like, the old lore fans are gonna like it, but if I'm, like, a 35-year-old gamer and I've played Halo 1 the year it came out in 2001, and then I played it again for the 10-year anniversary, they've already remade the game once, so then I played it again in 2011, and then they remade it again in 2014 with Master Chief Collection, and then they released it again in 2016 with Master Chief Collection on PC. There's been like 6 different, I didn't even count Gearbox. There's been like 6 or 7 different releases of Halo 1. And I'm not sure this new one is bringing anything to the table that is actually going to revive the franchise. And like for PC audience, it's going to need a strong PC. I don't think it's going to do well, to be honest. I don't know how it can. Like I don't know who. I haven't heard anybody express excitement for it except like people starved for content, lore nerds, and YouTubers. Like, obviously the people whose job relies on making Halo are hyped for it, like me and Sloth and like streamers and YouTubers and shit. But in terms of like gamers, like I've yet to hear like true excitement for the game from anybody. I just don't understand how they can really release it without a multiplayer. That's crazy to me. That already cuts the like intended audience so low. I mean, maybe if they could gamify it, I don't think they will, but like, because it's a single player game, you could have like leaderboards for scores and speedruns and stuff like that. Like, if they integrated a bunch of like social features, I know that they're doing co-op already, like so there is socialization, but I feel like unless there's some form of like extra creativity through challenge runs or leaderboards or stuff, then there's no point in playing multiplayer in that game. Like, I would like to see, I know this is probably way too crazy far-fetched, but I would like to see something like Borderlands did, where even though it's only like cooperative campaign, you can throw down the gauntlet and challenge the other person. I would like the ability to like 1v1 in an arena. Imagine if you can play with so it's 4-player co-op, right? Imagine if you can stumble upon Silent Cartographer and turn on 2v2 mode and just play 2v2 with like on like Silent Cartographer. You could even like set up map barriers. I know this is never gonna happen because 343 doesn't have enough time or money to do this. But it would be so cool if you could like set up a 2v2 anywhere you want in the campaign. But of course, my good ideas won't go implemented. We're just gonna get a standard crappy campaign. You could even build a 2v2 esport. You could reinvent like Halo esports with like my suggestions. Like, what if the new maps had intended arenas that were like balanced for competitive 2v2 play as well? I feel like this game didn't have to be the way it is. I don't know. They need to announce some multiplayer at Halo Fest. I wouldn't hold my breath. I guess may the end of the year, maybe, but I would really like for Halo to be relevant again, especially because like my job as a Twitch streamer relies on that. If Halo was like super relevant again, that'd be cool. I just unfortunately don't have a lot of faith in it happening. We should remake Halo and call it something else. I mean, games have tried. That's basically what Splitgate was. They started with trying to make a version of Halo and Portal. Splitgate was actually pretty fun. I had a lot of fun playing that until I got banned, and then I kind of bounced off of it. I streamed it for a couple weeks. I was like, I'm good at Halo, so I was good at the game. And I don't know what their anti-cheat detected, but I was dropping like 20 or 30 kills basically every game, and I streamed every game I played. It's not like I was doing anything suspicious, but I got on to play like one day and it just said, "You've been permanently banned." So I emailed them and I was like, "Hey, what's up with my ban?" They never responded, and then so I tweeted at them, and because I have like a decent amount of Twitter followers, they responded on Twitter, of course, and they unbanned me. They, like, the lead tech guy was like, "I'm looking into it, it looks like it was a mistake, sorry," and he unbanned me. But it was, I don't know, it kind of, I was playing every day, and then they just like kept me banned for a little while without responding. It was kind of disheartening, and I didn't do anything, so I don't even know what got me banned. I must have. It could have been like the streaming software like OBS, or maybe I had the timer open or something. Or it could have just been like I had too many kills as a new player. But like obviously as a competent Halo player, I'm gonna pick up split get really fast. So I don't think it should be a surprise that I'm able to drop a bunch of kills early, like in my first few games. Extraction Halo's coming. I don't think that genre is gonna be the genre. It's already dying off with Marathon, isn't it? Is Marathon doing okay? Does that... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Marathon is doing well. I don't know. I don't see the extraction genre having the same staying power as like the battle royale genre, for example. Like battle royales took over the market for a few years, where that was like every company was trying to make one. It was the genre. I don't think extraction is the next battle royale, if that makes sense.
好好收拾他吧，弟兄们，神使就交给我来保护吧。真理是不容挑战的。异教徒即将出动空中部队，神风烈士，继续追杀神魔主，请留意身后的情况。我会派其中一架魅影号前去支援你们。
Yeah, what's up, Zach?
根据追踪结果，邪魔主就藏身在燃料站这个区域。清除登陆区的抵抗，进入燃料站中。
You don't like playing games solo anymore? You're done with your solo arc? That's weird. I feel like I'm done with my team playing arc. I used to play a lot of team-based games. Like, I was into 4v4 Halo. I played a lot of doubles in Halo. I played a lot of Fortnite. I played a lot of 2s and 4s in Fortnite. I played Counter-Strike, which is a team-based game. I feel like I don't need any more team games. I guess I do play a team-based game in real life, though, so maybe that scratches some of that itch. I play a 5 vs 5 arcade game called Killer Queen. That's my multiplayer competitive itch right now. They don't have any deathmatch mode right now for Marathon. I wouldn't be surprised if they add it. Didn't Apex do that? Apex started out as like BR only and then added like deathmatch. Bungie doesn't want Marathon to be Apex. I think Bungie would be really happy if Marathon had the same staying power as Apex. Apex has been like a top 5 or top 10 game for like the last, what, 10 years now? I think Bungie would be very happy if they could get anywhere close to Apex's relevance. Apex is kind of like the game that everybody in the industry wants to be, actually. The idea that any company doesn't want to be Apex is kind of wrong. The gaming industry really wants to be Apex right now. At least it, like, I don't know about today, but at least in like the last 5 years of the gaming industry, because like Apex started out, it was a good game, but it got better. It's one of the few games in recent years that its player graph skyrocketed. It like started out good, and then as they added updates, it went up. Most games start out good and then go down because like it has initial hype and then it falls off after everybody's played it and the hype wears down. But Apex did like the exact opposite chart of like what games are expected. And people have been trying, I mean, part of the live service model has been release a game and then make it better and hope that you can follow the Apex curve. That's like why we have live service games right now. And Fortnite. Yeah, I'm not trying to argue with you guys necessarily. I get what you guys are saying. I'm just kind of ranting and talking as well. But the game industry definitely, just on average, wants to be like Apex. Is kind of what I mean. I'm not. I get what you guys are saying about like, not big picture. You mean like small details, like extraction shooter versus battle royale or whatever. Like I get what you guys are saying, but I'm just disagreeing with like the one sentence quip of they don't want to be like Apex. I did not see that guy. Oh, I almost died. That would have been really annoying. 40. Dude, it's crazy how much money mobile games make compared to, like, real games. I've thought about just, like, cranking out AI mobile slop games and trying to make money that way as a job. Honestly, I think I might try to pursue that and just try to make some money through the App Store. Because, like, there's so much money in mobile games. And they're not even good. How am I alive?
长官，风暴即将来袭，我们无法继续留在原地。将魅影号带到矿场旁，除非这些异教徒首领已死，否则我们绝不离开。神风烈士，虫族正在站内各处肆虐，我们的部队人数不足，无法应付如此大规模的虫族。快揪出这些异教徒的首领，并将他给宰了。
教徒首领，看到了没？
战士们，请返回登陆区。神风烈士会继续向上。
Downloading videos on your 360 back in the day was so cool. I haven't tried Deadlock. I had a few friends that got into it, but it was in, like... Is it even public yet? When I was wanting, like, to install it, I needed an invite, and then as soon as I needed an invite, I just never played it. You say nobody does it like Valve, but do you remember Valve's card game? Because not everything Valve makes has staying power. Artifact is maybe one of the worst games of all time, in terms of, like, staying power. They released a card game without understanding, like, card game mechanics or pricing or anything. Artifact is maybe one of the biggest flops of all time in gaming.
只剩最后一条缆线了。
The pricing model was crazy. Everything about that game was just not it. But yeah, Valve in general is very good.
燃料站开始下队了。
Oh yeah, it's not the only game that's flopped. There's been other big flops that have, like, thought they were gonna be good and only lasted a week, but don't die.
最后一刻。 你还活着吧，神风烈士？我们会尽快赶到，真是太疯了，都无法驾驶妖精号从混战中脱身而出的。等等，附近那边有一架萨拉夫号战机，神风烈士，你知道该怎么做？
It's kind of sad how the fans love to cheer for games to flop as well. There's a weird, like, bitterness in fans where they're excited for games to do poorly. So, like, whenever people start shit-talking a game, it becomes a meme, and then the game just never has a chance. I always feel bad for the developers in that case. Like, before anyone's even given it a try, the social media consciousness has decided this game is going to flop, and it never even gets a chance. Like, and you can argue that obviously if the game was good, it would do good, but I don't think it's that simple. There definitely is like there's a luckiness and a timing issue for, like, you have to release the game when society's ready to play it. If nobody wants to play your game, then it doesn't matter how good it is. Like, there's definitely a lot of luck, in my opinion. Yeah, and just marketing in general has always been important, yeah. If the public perception of stuff.
新职务，政治新列队，还是那项承诺，他们所谓的朝圣之旅。
I forgot how intense the Heretic Leader fight was in Chinese.
这项设备还有其他类似的设备，全是用来研究虫族的。但是武器跑哪儿去了？神风烈士，最后的结果呢？先行者花了这么多时间和力气，也不过就是把这些恶心的生物冰冻起来罢了。
Why am I doing Chinese? Because somebody gave me $10 to play Chinese. You can choose a language too if you want to give me $10.
来吧，神风烈士，我让你瞧瞧他们去哪儿了。
在阿尔法基地出现数百年前，就在投射雷就已经存在。
长官，我们必须摧毁那些机枪。
This run feels so weird because I haven't even been really paying attention to it. I've just been chatting and ranting all game. But I haven't died. I've just been taking it slow and steady.
火炮已清除上市，降落区暂时算安全。
我知道了，准备降落，大家坐好。
Should I do the ghost launch? I'm not going to. I don't need to. It saves like, what, 30 or 40 seconds, but I'm just gonna play safe. It's not even that it's hard, it's just there's no reason to risk it. There is French, English, German, Spanish, Italian, Korean, Chinese, and Mandarin and Japanese. Oh, let's go back. I've autopiloted my speedrun strats. Let's not do that. I also don't know why you thought there would be Turkish. I've never heard of a Turkish translation for any game. Would be cool. Stalker has Turkey. Is it a game made in Turkey? That would make sense. Yo, Joel with the $10. I can't see the message right now, but after this run, I'll switch if you've made a real suggestion. I guarantee you when I open this $10 donation, it's going to say play a language that I just didn't list. It's going to say play Croatian. That's my guess. No, that's too obscure. It's gonna be an obscure language, but not Croatian. Something similar. That's my guess. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted. Czech, maybe? I bet maybe it says play Czech. Czechoslovakian or something. Let's see, am I right? Could I predict it? Get up there. Play in Hebrew. I was close. I think I nailed it. What do you guys think? I'm pretty good. I nailed it. Appreciate the 10, Joel. Don't think I can honor the request, though.
我们仍未收到西蒙战网的琥珀号消息。这就怪了，西蒙明明知道我们降落了，却还一副毫不在乎的样子。那就给他们一个大大的惊喜。
This isn't how I wanted to do this.
小心置位。
I just died because I can't hit 1 in 4 sword flies. Are you kidding me? That's not fair. I just need to hit 1 out of 4! Oh my god. I could slow down, but I have so much confidence. Yeah, because if I don't hit 1 out of 4 sword flies, the entire run can't work. Like, I have to play that way. That's annoying. There's a Shakespeare Klingon translations, I'm pretty sure. But I guess Shakespeare... Do people own the family rights to Shakespeare? I doubt it. Shakespeare's like completely public domain, right? Like nobody profits off of it other than like stage productions and things. You know, I know there's a reference to... It says you have not experienced Shakespeare until you've read him in the original Klingon. That's a quote from Star Trek. Maybe there actually isn't Klingon Shakespeare. Maybe that's just a quote from the movie. Is it actually? Let's see. The Klingon Hamlet. Klingon Hamlet. Translation of Shakespeare's Hamlet into Klingon, a constructed language first appearing in the science. Yeah, Hamlet was at least translated. The tragedy of Hamlet, the son of the Emperor of Kronos. Can I get any excerpts?
我们先试试目标定位的功能。
请瞄准上方的光点。
好啊，
现在瞄准下方的光点。
不错。
再瞄准上方的光点。
对，就这样。
下方的光点。
好的。
I'm gonna fail it.
检查完成，请稍等，我得把约束器离线。动一动，试试看感觉如何。等你准备好了，请到遥控站跟我碰面。
专心点，我只讲一遍。本站将测试你的能量护盾。
这套新战斗服的防护罩很强，能够保护你的安全。
Yeah, everybody knows that the fertility statue signifies that you seek Jamahara.
如果防护罩的能量用完了，尽快找到烟货，并等待防护罩充电完成。
哦，到时候躲在我背后就行了。你们到底玩够了没有？怎么没看到什么健身器材呢？
他的护甲没问题。靠 ，AJ 江森，你这个老不死的怎么还没挂？
别担心，兵器官，一切包在我身上。江森，你什么时候要跟俺说你平安归来是怎么办到的？兵器官，外星人想杀我，等下辈子吧。嘿，俺个屁了！你可以忘记 A2 狙击镜的设定。
Man, that's such an annoying death to miss sword flies and then lose the run.
因为酷的统帅忘记邀请他了。地球，多年不见喽。上次离开时，地球轨道防卫网还只是理论跟政治上的理想而已。你看看，开罗现在已经是300个与地球同步自转的太空站之一了。 那座 Make 炮只需要一发就可以贯穿星盟的主力线。如果再与雅典跟马耳他两处的武力联合，敌人休想活着离开这个防御阵地。所有航舰在今天上午全都报到了，但大家都不愿多谈，似乎有什么大事就要发生了。
It does sound like he says something similar to Bing chilling and when you enter the elevator. Isn't that kind of like a generic phrase? Bing, it's like a very common word. I forget what it means. I know the John Cena meme where he's advertising like ice cream. If you want me to play in English, I'll play in English. Some people prefer it. I definitely prefer hearing the wacky new voices that you don't get to hear all the time, though. You missed the German already? You should try Korean. I had the Korean version. For the low price of $10, you can suggest it. And I'll play it on the next reset. Monopoly needs grocery money. I mean, it takes just time and effort for me to find the disc and swap it out, and like, it's like a 5-minute process because of loads and stuff, so you gotta at least give some monetary compensation to disrupt the stream, right? And then it's a new experience. I don't think $10 is crazy. Otherwise, I'd have to do it for free and do it all the time. I think it's pretty reasonable. I hate this game. My phone's gonna die. I'm gonna charge my phone. Italian? I do have Italian. Alright, next reset I'll switch to Italian. I actually don't think I've ever played my Italian version. That right here on top. I already got it. It was the top of my stat. I'm not gonna end this run though. I'll do this one and then once it dies I'll switch. Did I know that the flood takeover of High Charity was supposed to be much more brutal? I mean, I don't know what you mean by more brutal. Like, it was supposed to have like more missions, like similar to like the cut Cortana level on Halo 3, right? And there was like the cut hog run and there's supposed to be flood juggernauts, but in terms of lore, like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how brutal the takeover of High Charity was because like I just see Master Chief going through it and punching people in the head. When I play the game, there is no extended lore in my brain. If it doesn't happen within the game, it didn't happen to me. That's my direct like experience with this game. Like, I'm not reading the books, I'm not reading the background information about like different characters are being consumed by the flood. So like my experience is just that the flood showed up while the takeover, like the brutes and the elites were fighting. The brutes take over, and now they're running High Charity, and then the flood show up a little bit later, and then Master Chief shows up too. Is it possible to die out armory? It is.
多年不见喽。上次离开时，地球轨道防卫网还只是理论跟政治上的理想而已。你看看，开罗现在已经是300个与地球同步自转的太空站之一了。那座 Make 炮只需要一发就可以贯穿星盟的主力线。
Yeah, I know some people love to like dig into the extended lore and stuff, but for me, like, the Halo lore stops as soon as the game stops. Like, I'm not out there like reading the books and watching any of the movies and shit. Especially in the new era. Like, anything produced in like the last 10 years or more, I don't really care. Yeah, and part of the reason that I don't care is exactly what you're saying, Pop-Tart, is like, if you look at the alpha versions of the game and compare them to today's version, they're just completely different lore. Which means, like, at some point you have to decide what is and isn't canon. And for me, the easiest distinction is, if it's in the game, it's real, and if it's not in the game, it's fake. Like, all of these different iterations and different plans and different visions that change over the years, like, they shouldn't have the ability to change what I'm doing right now, which is playing the game. And so, like, none of the outside lore does change what I'm doing right now. I'm just playing the game. But if you think about, like, the stuff that has changed over time, like, look at the Halo 1 E3 demo. Master Chief is a robot. He has a robot voice. He's a cyborg. That's even what they call him in the program files. He's not a human stolen from his family and turned into a super soldier. He's just a robot dude. And then they add the lore, and then they introduce Cortana, who was originally going to be British, and then she was originally going to betray us on the mission 2 Betrayals. And then, like, once you start to realize that, like, it's just been changing nonstop since before the game even released, it's hard to take it super seriously as this, like, story that is supposed to be grand. It's just a green guy in space shooting aliens and saving the universe. It's not that complicated. And that's not even talking about the Halo 2 changes where you've got, like, originally the Forerunners were going to be humans and then they're not. And there was like a whole sequence where Arbiter was going to find that out and be shocked to learn that he's been killing Forerunners, basically, even though it's his religion to support them. So the whole story of Arbiter was basically supposed to be that he did follow the prophets, he realized they're liars, and now he teams up with the humans because he realizes the humans are the truth. But half of that story gets kind of cut. I don't know. Like, am I supposed to take all of that seriously as if it tells a narrative? Because it really doesn't.
糟糕，他们正从雅典撤离。
霍塔纳，评估报告。雅典汉马尔塔的爆炸都发生在太空站的内部，一定是西蒙在进攻期间安装了炸弹。那这里肯定也有。士官长，找出炸弹。
快点，那是武器还是收电台？
来吧，士官长，跟着我来。
西蒙出现时，我差点就崩掉。
别担心，交给我们就好了。
报告，登记的。
第一小队跟我来，我们来料理这些巡洋舰解除炸弹。第二小队进行切
那我
割行动。
需要士官长帮忙炸弹引线，扫描截杀区内所有的敌舰。23艘巡洋舰解除掉
他的设定攻击准备后自由射击。
真不敢相信，敌人正在撤退，我们赢了。
报告，巡洋舰已穿越防线，舰队直扑开罗。
霍塔纳，集中火力于第一艘巡洋舰。将军，尽可能先对付第二个。
全员集合，跟我来。
See, you say, like, canonically, but, like, in the game, well, I guess you say Contact Harvest, so, but, like, they clearly know who the Covenant are when they attack Reach in the game because they said, it's the Covenant, and then the music starts, and it's, like, a big deal.
要跟你说，有几个精英在守那个炸弹，自己想法子喽。
Oh, by the time Fall of Reach, they'd been at war for like 7 years. Okay, so they definitely knew. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, they had to know because like there's so much like implied background.
暴动坠机地点，快快快！
Did you guys know this game has Reach references? A Marine on this level and a couple other places in the game will say, that was for Reach, whenever they kill a grunt. the fleet that destroyed Reach was 50 times that size. Yeah, right at the beginning of the game, you get that cutscene too.
长官，
我的铁路炮正准备将盔甲壳补给品空运至城内，因此需要一支护卫队护航。这支护卫队要能抵挡敌军的地面攻击。
你可以站在我的前面吗？
Well, I guess even the first cutscene with the Arbiter talking about it, it's like
祝你好运。
he fled as we set fire to their planets. Like, that's just Reach that they're talking about. That's... What was Arbiter doing when Reach was happening? It's kind of explained at the start of Halo 1, right? They saw that one ship escaped, they followed it, and then they discovered it was too late because the flood had already been released or whatever. That's kind of the whole introduction cutscene of Halo 1. Or Halo 2 tells you what Arbiter was doing. Why was it not destroyed with the rest of their fleet? It fled as we set fire to their planet. You know what's crazy to me? Is you miss that, like, entire intro cutscene if you play co-op. You still get, like, Arbiter getting cooked, but you don't get the whole context of him getting cooked. If you play co-op, you can only start on Cairo Station. There's no Heretic or Armory. Which misses out on some of the lore. How many times have the rings been activated? Guilty Spark tells you on Halo 1. He's, or maybe it's this game. He's like 2.2 simulated and 2 actual or something like that. I don't know. Spark tells you. I can't remember the exact quote, but he says they simulated a bunch and they did like 2 or 3 or something. 1 actual. Oh, it's during the Gravemind cutscene whenever they have the red guy, 2401. I guess I never really knew what those pulses were supposed to be on Halo, but that's an interesting idea. did they really retcon the book and like change it to align better with the game? Or did they just... I know sometimes they like take out some language that aged poorly or things like that. Or descriptions of events that like don't have a cultural relevance anymore. Like if an author accidentally uses like something too out of date, 20 years later it won't make any sense. So I know sometimes they update books because of things like that, but it'd be weird if they changed the like actual lore. My guess is it's more of like what I was describing, like an update. Fix, like they might use some words that we don't use anymore, like just like slang slurs and stuff. So sometimes publishers will just change the slurs to be like more time appropriate. I know that's a really common one, that you get different books released.
报告长官，另一侧的情况十分危险，带着这个吧。
Oh, I guess we're going to Italian. Let's hope it works. I don't think I've played my Italian version before. Couple surface scratches. Fingerprint. Yeah, looks fine. La terra non sarà mai più la stessa. I don't really know Italian pronunciation, but it looks like Spanish. La distruzione di Elo ha rallentato I covenant ma non li ha fermati. Mossi dalla fede dalla fuere ideale. I don't know how to speak Italian. Alright. Yeah, I can actually show it. Did I save and quit when I played Metropolis, or did I dashboard? If I saved and quit, I can show the differences. Hypothetically here. Let me check if I actually saved and quit. I did save and quit. Nice. What's up, weekend? Going all right? So this should load with glitch properties here. Does it? It did not. Okay, so I don't know the exact specifics of how it loaded the checkpoint there because I wasn't paying enough attention, but if you switch discs and your last checkpoint was like on this level and then you reload the checkpoint for this level, sometimes you'll get glitchy results. Like you can be stuck out of bounds and stuff. It's kind of interesting. Alright, we go again. Man, I'm still annoyed about that one I just lost on regret. Zero hit runs aren't really possible because you have to like make weird definitions for it. But I mean, if you just define it as not taking enemy damage, then it is because you can just play slow and safe. But if you mean never losing shields, then the start of the level on Armory, you lose shields because you enter the shield zapper. And then you might be, okay, well that doesn't count. Well, what about the start of Gravemind? You start with low shields on Gravemind. So, like, it's kind of hard. You could say neither of those count, and then it is possible, but then you're just kind of getting into, what if you take damage while your shields are down and don't really notice? And
Guarda la luce in alto. Bene, ora guarda la luce in basso. Perfetto. Di nuovo la luce in alto. Ci siamo. E ora quella in basso. Ok.
okay.
Sembra tutto a posto.
So soothing.
Ora disattivo gli inibitori.
Inhibitor.
Muoviti un po' per ambientarti. Quando sei pronto, vieni da me al comando a distanza.
This guy doesn't sound like a gunnery sergeant to me. He sounds like a hypnotist.
Questa stazione verificherà gli scudi energetici a ricarica. Gli scudi della tua nuova corazza sono molto resistenti, molto efficaci. Tombola! Come puoi vedere, si ricaricano molto più velocemente. Se i tuoi scudi cedono, trovati un riparo e aspetta che l'indicatore ritorni al massimo.
Certo, può nascondersi dietro di me. Allora, hai finito col mio ragazzo? Ormai se la cava anche da solo.
La sua corazza è a posto. Puoi andare, figliolo, ma cerca di non strafare.
Tranquillo, lo terrò per mano.
Allora, Johnson, quando mi dirai come hai fatto a tornare qui tutto d'un pezzo?
Spiacente, segreto militare.
Ah, vai al diavolo! E scordati pure che ti sistemi il mirino della tua A2.
Oh, oggi è davvero di buon umore. Magari Lord Wood ha dimenticato di invitarlo. Ah, la terra. Sono anni che non la vedo.
Johnson sounding rough. Ah, la terra.
Quando sono partito, la griglia di difesa orbitale era ancora un progetto nella mente dei politici. E ora guarda, il Cairo è soltanto una delle 300 piattaforme geostazionarie. Il fucile Khan potrebbe trapassare una nave da guerra Covenant. Con il fuoco concentrato di Atene e Malta, nulla potrebbe superare indenne questa forza da battaglia. È da stamattina che arrivano astronavi. Nessuno dice molto, ma c'è qualcosa di grosso nell'aria.
Why'd I switch languages? I've been allowing the viewers to choose the language if you guys donate me $10. Because I am trying to set the speedrun time for this category, but this isn't necessarily like a super serious speedrun. The goal is to be deathless, not to be insanely fast. So I don't mind losing a few seconds to changing the language. It's not very much. The reason I play in German historically is because German is faster by 12 seconds, but in the course of a 2-hour run, 12 seconds doesn't bother me, so if you guys want to hear any languages, then I'll do some playthroughs for $10 donations. It takes a few minutes to switch, as you guys saw, so I don't do it for free, because it would just take up too much of my stream time, but I do have a physical copy of every language. You can't use the menus to change it, you have to actually switch CDs, like the disc. there is no menu option to change language. You have to buy a physical version of each.
Questa non è un'esercitazione. Ripeto, non è un'esercitazione. Vigilare le porte pressurizzate.
How are you full? How is everyone full? What? I swear I hit these guys.
Stanno abbandonando Atene.
Cortana, quadro tattico.
L'esplosione proveniva dall'interno di Atene, come Premalta. L'attacco dei Covenant era mirato.
Yeah, I mean, co-op Deathless would not be fun. It would just be like hiding one guy in a corner and then doing a solo speedrun.
Cos'è quella? Un'arma o un...
Co-op on Legendary just in general kind of sucks because Halo 2 Legendary makes it so that if either of you die, it reverts you to last checkpoint. So you really just are punished for sending one guy off on his own, but you're also kind of punished for working together because you can't like cover so much slack. So really, like, who's ever the better Halo player is kind of rewarded for doing all of the work, and the worst Halo player just has to hide in the back and like be slightly helpful if they can. It's, I don't know, Halo 2 Legendary isn't very good in my opinion for co-op, especially for speedruns. Ain't no way he just got me. That's Halo co-op in general, to be honest. But with the other Halos, you're allowed to die. So you can send one player ahead, and if he dies, it's no big deal. But if you do that with Halo 2, you can't. It just doesn't work because it reverts you. Outskilled. Get owned.
Beh, immagino che comunque fosse obsoleta. La tua nuova corazza è una Mark 6, arrivata questa mattina da Songnam. Vaci piano finché non padroneggi le nuove funzioni. Ok, verifichiamo il sistema di puntamento. Guarda la luce in alto. Bene, ora guarda la luce in basso. Perfetto. Di nuovo la luce in alto. Ci siamo. E ora quella in basso, ok? Sembra tutto a posto. Aspetta. Ora disattivo gli inibitori.
Ora che linda.
Muoviti un po' per ambientarti. Quando sei pronto, vieni da me al comando.
This guy's so soothing. I feel like I just want to take a nap with him. Fall asleep.
Perché non ho intenzione di ripetermi. Questa stazione verificherà gli scudi energetici a ricarica. Gli scudi della tua nuova corazza
Yeah, massage therapist Master Guns over here.
Tombola! Come puoi vedere, si ricaricano molto più velocemente. Se i tuoi scudi cedono, trovati un riparo e aspetta che l'indicatore ritorni al massimo.
Certo, può nascondersi dietro di me. Allora, hai finito col mio ragazzo? Ormai se la cava anche da solo.
La sua corazza è a posto, Johnson, per cui tappati quella boccaccia. Puoi andare, figliolo, ma cerca di non strafare.
Tranquillo, lo terrò per mano.
Yeah, if you're doing co-op and you're the like really experienced Halo player, you actually just have to like jump around and do literally nothing while your friend plays the game. That's the correct way to do it. It's unfortunately how you play co-op games if you're an expert. You have to just do literally nothing while you let the other guy have fun. And if he gets stuck, you guide him like slightly.
La terra. Sono anni che non la vedo.
I think, unfortunately, Halo, and a lot of games in general, co-op is really not fun if it's like one expert and one noob. It's fun to show your friend the ropes if you're like cool with that, but it's a different experience because you have to take a step back and stop playing the game. You have to let the other person play, and most people aren't very good at that.
Nulla potrebbe superare indenne questa forza da battaglia.
Yo, what's up, Eric?
Nessuno dice molto, ma c'è qualcosa di grosso.
Is class my stream, or are you actually skipping school? Go to class. Halo 2 Legendary becomes a lot harder without BR. Surprisingly, that's not true. The only level that I use the BR on in the entire run is this level. I sometimes pick it up and get one grunt kill on Metropolis, and I sometimes pick it up on Sacred Icon to kill the Flood if I get a random spawn for it, but the Carbine works just as well. Like, you don't need it, and I don't pick it up every run. But otherwise, you don't use the battle rifle anywhere. How do you kill anything without it? Well, where are you using it? Outskirts, you drive the whole mission. Metropolis, you drive the whole mission. Arbiter, there is not a single one. Oracle, there's not a single one. Delta Halo, I rocket launcher myself at the start of the level and then I get a sword, and you're driving half the level. Regret, I'm using rocket sword flies the entire level. I sometimes pick it up on Regret. There is no battle rifle on Gravemind. On High Charity, I skipped the whole level. I never even shoot anything. Great Journey has no battle rifle unless you bring it from Uprising, but nobody would do that. Uprising, you would never pick up the battle rifle. Yeah, like, in most of the levels, you just don't have the opportunity. It's like Arbiter levels where the Carbine is it, or the Master Chief levels where he's on the High Charity. It's all Covenant weapons. You assume I'm not a fan of Reach campaign? I mean, like, I've been ranting for the last 30 minutes. I don't really care that much about the lore. I thought the Reach campaign was fine. I didn't find it so emotionally, like, pulling at my heartstrings kind of thing. Like, most of the character deaths, I thought that they were not very emotional. I thought Kat's death was, like, literally funny. I straight up laughed in disbelief when Kat died. I don't know how I was supposed to feel sad watching that cutscene. So, I didn't, like, maybe appreciate it the same way a lot of people appreciate Reach, but I thought it was fun. For multiplayer, I hated the multiplayer. When Reach came out, I was way more interested in the multiplayer. Most people that were playing Halo back then were playing it for the multiplayer. Like, Halo 3's population was huge, and there was millions of people playing multiplayer every day. It was like the Xbox 360 game. So when Reach came out, I was excited for the multiplayer, and that was a pretty big letdown. The reasons that multiplayer was a letdown was, like, the maps were all straight ripped from campaign, so they didn't feel original. The maps that were original were all gray Forge World. Forge World was really cool, but all of the maps were the same. the sprint and bloom on launch were unable to be turned off, so it changed competitive play so much that MLG as a company stopped running Halo tournaments. Like, Halo was the most competitive console shooter. It was the game that MLG ran, and then Reach was so uncompetitive that they stopped doing tournaments. It was that bad. So as like a try-hard multiplayer sweaty kid, to go from the heyday of Halo 2 and 3 MLG to the like lows of Halo Reach, it was literally so bad that they stopped running tournaments. That's pretty bad.
Ci siamo. E ora quella in basso, ok? Sembra tutto a posto. Aspetta, ora disattivo gli inibitori. Muoviti un po' per ambientarti. Quando sei pronto, vieni da me al comando a distanza.
And you might ask why Sprint and Bloom are bad. Like, I'm not one of those people that say Sprint is inherently bad for video games. Sprint in Reach was implemented poorly, and Bloom was even worse. Bloom is a mechanic in games where if you spam the shoot button, it becomes more and more inaccurate. So like, if I spam the battle rifle, it would get worse and worse and worse. That doesn't happen in Halo 2, but it does happen in Reach. And the reason that that is an annoying way to balance a game is not necessarily because Bloom is bad, but it was bad the way Reach did it. Reach made it where Bloom wasn't bad enough. It was like right in the sweet spot. So if I got into a battle rifle fight with you, or a DMR fight, which that's what the weapon's called in Reach, and we both start shooting at each other at the exact same time, if we shoot as fast as possible, the fight just becomes random, right? Because you're at the mercy of Bloom. So that means you're supposed to play tactical and slow down and shoot your shots, right? So if you are the player who chooses to slow down and pace your shots, and you're playing against a maniac who chooses not to slow down, there's a chance that they're going to beat you even though you're playing more tactically than them. And the problem is, when you start adding the game theory math to it, they beat you too often. The people spamming win more fights than the people pacing their shots. So now the prevailing meta is to run around spamming as fast as possible, and sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose, and that's just the breaks. Like, you're literally not playing a skill-based game at that point. But eventually they removed Bloom, and they gave us the ability to turn it off, and that made Reach competitive way better.
Stamattina che arrivano astronavi. Nessuno dice molto, ma c'è qualcosa di grosso nell'aria.
So they just happened to have Bloom in like the exact sweet spot where it made the entire game was just random. It was very frustrating.
Allarme. Nemico in avvicinamento.
Yeah, also, it was an exact change of direction of what Halo even meant. Halo was a fast-paced arcade console shooter where spamming your Magnum or spamming your battle rifle, being quick, being twitchy, playing the game quickly was never punished. And now, all of a sudden, for some reason, you get punished for it after 3 games of not being punished. It was just it was a completely change of design for no reason. And it didn't make the game better, that's for sure. I know that's a opinionated, subjective statement, but it's backed up by the fact that the people who make the game eventually relented and removed it. So, I mean, it's pretty factual to say that Bloom was a mistake. It was not. It did not make Halo better. You liked the Bloom? I don't think you played multiplayer in 2011, if I'm being honest. See, you just typed the exact sentence that I just spent the last 5 minutes refuting, Organic. You say more Bloom made more skill, but did you listen to the rant I just gave for 5 minutes, or did you just type that because that's what you think? Like, you're of the opinion that if you pace your shots, it's more skillful. But I just explained why it's not, and I don't know if you heard that. Because it turned out it didn't make the game more skillful, it made it more random, it made it less skillful. The fact that the only way to win via game theory was to get lucky did not make the game more skillful. It made it less skillful. Like, way less skillful. Like, orders of magnitude less. Yeah, like, the argument that adding randomness to the core fighting mechanic makes it more skillful is kind of crazy. Randomness isn't inherently unskillful. You can use it as a balancing point, but the way they did it did not help. Counter-Strike has really good bloom, actually. Like, if you want to look at a game that introduces bloom properly, Counter-Strike does it. Like, the weapons aren't perfectly accurate in that game. If you stand at the entire, like, distance of, like, just 2 on long, and you, like, AK one-tap somebody, sometimes you'll kill them and sometimes you won't because you're really far away, and the weapon has inherent randomness. Like, you can aim perfectly and miss if you're across the map. But the closer you get, the more accurate the weapon is. It has less bloom the closer you are. And that seems very fair to me. Like, so the weapon is random from far away, and it's less random the closer you get. So there's randomness, but it is a point of skill to take your fights. If you want to take a long fight, you should probably not be using an inaccurate weapon like the AK, you should be using the snipers like the AWP or the Scout. So in that regard, they're using randomness to balance the game to make you choose different weapons. But that's not the randomness that Halo Reach did. It was literally just randomness for the sake of randomness. You played a lot of SWAT. Well, I mean, Bloom doesn't even affect SWAT. That's like the one game type that is not affected by Bloom. How does it not affect SWAT? Because people die in one hit. Like, if you hit every bullet, it doesn't matter if there's randomness. Like, if it takes you 2 shots to kill your opponent, then you just fucked up. The follow-up shots, like... Yeah, but if you're doing any follow-up shots, you're not a very confident player. Like, if you're missing your shots, then Bloom didn't matter in the first place. I don't know. Like... The game has so much aim assist and bullet magnetism. If you're like taking shots and full on whipping, that's a skill issue, not a bloom or difference. Like, and Bloom certainly didn't make SWAT more skillful, like you were arguing. You said that Bloom made it feel like you had more skill. So that means that you got into a fight where both you and your opponent missed your first shot. He missed his second shot, you waited longer and hit your second shot. That's not a game of more skill. You and your opponent are just both missing your shots. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
La missione non può aspettare, capo.
Diamoci una mossa, Marine. Ripuliamo il luogo dello schiaffo, via.
But it doesn't even punish lack of skill. It puts you just on the same footing as if it wasn't there. Like, it's just a situation where you're both in the same boat and you're both missing shots. Whether it was random or not doesn't matter, because you're both just missing your shots.
Sergente, ho bisogno di te su quel mezzo.
Signora?
I miei Pelican stanno per iniziare a portare mezzi corazzati e rinforzi in città. Avranno bisogno di una scorta che non tema il fuoco nemico.
That's not the definition of skill organic, and that's just, I don't know, it's the idea that Bloom makes the game skillful is just fantasy. It's not even an opinion. It's, you're taking like an idea on paper that makes sense, and I'm talking about the real life application that we played in 2011. Like, it was so bad that they stopped running tournaments. That's how random it was. Like, to argue that it was somehow more skillful is insane when they went from running $250,000 competitive tournaments to running nothing. That's like... to say that somehow that's more skill-based is crazy. It's not an opinion. It's not even something that's up for discussion. It's like just the difference between theory and practice. Like, the theory of Bloom can be good. What you're saying is technically possible. You can make a game more skillful with randomness. But what we experienced in 2011 was not that. We got a worse game. We got a less skill-based game. It's like, I don't know how to say it without sounding so dismissive of your argument, but it's just factual. There's nothing to stand on. You're repeating the theory without actually of like experiencing it or something. I don't know.
Sembra strano, lo so, ma spiegherebbe perché sono qui con una flotta così esile.
No, fermiamoci! Dai! Lo riesci? Oh! Sono stato io!
Just lock in? I don't have to lock in. I barely pay attention on these first levels. I play worse if I don't talk during these sections. I get like zombie road state. You know when you drive for like an hour or two and you just kind of zone out? I play worse when that happens. Exactly, Jacob.
Ce n'è un altro!
I Covenant stanno cercando di raggiungersi, non diamogli tempo.
Let's not die anymore.
Un Groot con una torretta! Avanti, boss! Ti seguiremo tutti ciecamente!
Calma! Sono qui io! Ghost!
Andiamo!
Andiamo. Who used to say that as like a catchphrase?
Adesso siete voi ad avere paura.
It's like a let's go kind of thing. Ezio? Is that who says that? I never played Assassin's Creed, but I've seen clips of it. Maybe that's where I've heard it. I've actually never played the Assassin's Creed games, and I really should. I feel like that's a franchise that I missed, that I should hit. There's a few big franchises I've missed.
Non male come comitato di benvenuto.
Yeah, I've heard finding the feathers is a challenge. I think Brand was talking about doing it not too long ago.
Questo significa che devo smetterla di prenderti in giro.
I want to replay Crackdown. I remember looking for all of the agility orbs in Crackdown without a guide, and that was a lot of fun. Crackdown was sick. I've been looking for a good old game to replay. Maybe it's Crackdown that I want. I want like a collectathon old game, and I mean Crackdown is sounding like what I'm looking for. Maybe Assassin's Creed is it though. I've been trying to like find a retro or like oldish game that I want to play through just for like not Halo. I tried Blinks the other night just to test it out and see how it's feeling. Blinks is not it. That game, I know people have good nostalgia for it, but no, that game's not it. It's fun-ish. There's so many stinkers that are on the OG Xbox. I was trying to go through them and find some good ones, and a lot of them are just not it. Have I played Silent Hills? No, but I did just recently watch somebody play through like a couple of them. So I don't know if I want to play them myself right now.
Quando ho chiesto dei rinforzi, non mi aspettavo di vedere arrivare uno Spartan. Abbiamo dei guai. Abbiamo finito.
You're playing them in reverse? Yeah, I loved Resident Evil 2 when I was younger. I was obsessed with that game. 2 and 4 were my favorites.
Marine, dobbiamo far fuori uno scarab.
Are you doing the remake of 4 or the original 4? I think both are pretty good.
Noi siamo la mano dei profeti, Arbiter, e tu sei la loro spada. Sii rapido e silenzioso e sradicheremo questa eresia senza incidenti. La tempesta ce l'ha nel nostro animo, e forse ha disattivato la loro rete locale. Dobbiamo contare sull'elemento sorpresa, per ora.
I loved Splinter Cells back in the day. Pandora Tomorrow I was obsessed with as well. That was another game that I really loved. That was one of the first multiplayer games I got like addicted to. Spies vs. Mercs on Warehouse was my jam. I would play hours of that. There were so many cool glitches too. You could like teleport to the second zone early and be like a cheater and extract early. You could get invincibility by getting inside of the mercenary spawns. There was a whole bunch of like really fun glitches. This could be the run. They all could be the run. I don't know. I'm obviously not like super focused today. I've just been ranting and chatting, but I feel like I'm playing pretty good. I got one to regret that died because of a missed sword fly. And then overall I feel like I'm playing good. Like I've got good strats, I've got good plans. I've been ranting a lot. Yeah, just been kind of talking today. More talkative than normal for some reason.
Guardate.
Will you leave me alone?
Mi aspettavo di più da te. Che uccidetelo, fratelli miei. Io difenderò l'oracolo.
La sua verità non deve essere celata.
Gli Heretic mobilitano le forze aeree, Arbiter. Insegui il leader, ma guardati le spalle. Invio uno dei nostri Phantom di supporto. Leader degli Heretic in questo settore della stazione. Ripulisci la ZA e penetra all'interno.
That's not good. Don't shoot me. Thank you for not shooting me.
Non indietreggeremo di un...
Cos'è successo qui? Chiedevo chi avrebbero inviato i profeti. Un arbiter. Sono quasi lusingato.
Sta usando un nuovo drone per essere vicino. Vieni fuori, così ti uccideremo.
Aspetta il tuo turno.
Leader, silenzio. Questo sono...
Maledetti pazzi Heretic, cosa hanno fatto?
Vai, arbitro, io ti seguirò all'arrivo dei rinforzi.
If I were in charge of the next Halo game, what would I do? Simple map editor on launch with promises of a more advanced Forge later. Would be one of my biggest points for multiplayer. I think that alone would solve so many of Halo's issues. I think releasing the game and then planning to fix it later is clearly not working for them. Like, they have to launch with some features that make the game good on day one. If they don't have those, then the community is going to leave. That's what happened with Halo Infinite. It's what, I don't know. Like, obviously making a game is more hard than just like, yeah, sure, let's have features that work. But like, I wouldn't have released Halo Infinite if I was in charge. If I played that game and I was the head honcho and Microsoft was telling me to release that game, I wouldn't have released it. I would have rather fired the entire team and scrapped the game and closed Halo Studios than release Infinite on day one. Alright. I think they should have delayed Infinite another 6 months or a year. I know, like, from a business perspective, it's too costly to do that. Like, there are money implications beyond what I understand. Like, they weren't able to delay Infinite. They knew they needed to, they weren't able to. And I don't know the whole picture, but I think the state that they've released their last couple games in just, like, is not enough. If Infinite got another year to cook, we would have had a fully fleshed out campaign with different biomes and like actual gameplay instead of just like reused boss fights over and over and like go to this fob, clear these generic enemies, go to this fob, clear these generic enemies, get useless marines. Like nothing in Infinite felt like it had any purpose. It was just like the overworld was cool, but other than that, it was just like disjointed game with no lore, no story. It was clearly an unfinished game. Anyone trying to convince me that Infinite was finished is on some copium. Like, clearly they intended a lot more in the story. They wanted to do more with the campaign, like that Silex thing at the beginning. There was a whole third act planned for that game. Maybe one day we'll get the full story. But what's kind of frustrating about Infinite is the parts that worked were actually a lot of fun. I loved grappling around the overworld. It was really good, but that was like all there was to do. We didn't have any variety. We didn't have anything else to explore, but like at its core, Infinite could have been good if it had a little bit more time to cook. The fact that like 90% of the story happened off screen and then like the other like 10% is just like kind of incomprehensible, and then the ending doesn't make any sense. Like they struggled to get a story going because they just had to not finish the game. Did I not kill? Is this a flood? That was a flood, right?
Leader, sta arrivando la tempesta. Non possiamo mantenere la posizione.
Portate i Phantom vicino alla miniera. Non ce ne andremo prima che il leader degli ereti sia morto. personaggio così esteso. Trova il leader degli eretici e uccidilo. Ora.
Let's go for the win.
Guerrieri, torniamo alla Z. L'arbiter proseguirà verso l'alto, sgancerà la stazione e costringerà l'eretica a uscire allo scoperto.
E i nostri signori guidino la tua mano.
Well, that's bad. Am I dead? I might die. Not dead.
Qui, vedi, guarda il quadro della stazione.
I kind of want more ammo. I'll be fine. I do kind of want that ammo. Who needs ammo?
La stazione è in caduta libera. Il leader degli eretici si muove. Non lasciartelo scappare. Noi resteremo
Le nostre vita per la verità!
Per la verità e per i Covenant!
Sei ancora vivo, Arbiter.
Stiamo tenendo il passo il meglio possibile.
That's not fair. This guy's a carbon, or is he? No, he's a. Wait, no, he is. I thought he had a sentinel for a second.
Che follia. Non riuscirà mai a fuggire con un banshee. Là, c'è un cacciaserra qua dentro. Arbiter sa.
Loading a checkpoint is reverting the last checkpoint.
Un nuovo comando, una nuova flotta. O con la loro bugia, con il grande viaggio. DEATHLESS. Dove sono le armi arbitra? Dove sono i risultati? Tutto questo tempo, tutti questi sforzi, e il massimo che i precursori hanno saputo fare è stato congelare le E ora dove sono questi dei che i profeti vorrebbero che adorassero? Ascesi al cielo. Non ci credo. Vieni, arbitro.
Questa struttura mineraria è antecedente all'installazione alfa di centinaia di anni.
Signore, dobbiamo neutralizzare quelle torrette!
Do I actually know how to play Monopoly? What kind of question is that? Brother, I will destroy you on the squares. You meet me at Park Place and it's going down. I mean, there is actually a Monopoly meta. In Boardwalk and Park Place, the dark blue squares are not the meta, as like some people think. A lot of people assume the most expensive properties are the good ones. They're the ones right before go. But those are actually some of the least landed on squares in the entire game, because you have to traverse the entire board to get there. And there's tons of, like, skip cards that either send you backwards or make you skip over that section. So the most visited square on the board is actually jail. It's 10 away from the starting position. There's the top right corner sends you back to jail. 3 triples sends you to jail. Community chest sends you to jail. There's just a lot of ways to get there. There's also advanced to railroad, which puts you 50% of the time in the like bottom left quadrant of the board. There's advanced to St. Charles Place, which is right next to jail. There's advanced to nearest utility, which 50% of the time, even more, brings you to the utility. So you're almost always in the bottom left of the board, which makes 7 squares away from the bottom left the most lucrative squares, which is the orange. The reason 7 is because 2 dice rolled are the most common frequency of like pairs that you're going to get add up to 7. So because 7 is the most likely dice roll, you want the highest odds of people landing on your properties. You want to be 7 away from the most visited square, which is New York, the oranges. St. Charles Place and the purples are pretty good, and the light blues on the part of the board before jail are also very good. If you can get all 3 of those properties, you're going to win basically every game. There's also the strategy of hotels, where every game is limited to the number of houses that you're supposed to have. There's not an infinite number of tokens. If you run out of houses, you don't just get to like be like, oh, but I should be able to buy some. Let's use a quarter. You can't do that. If there's no houses in your set, you don't get to buy houses. So the prevailing strategy to prevent anybody else from getting houses, once you get to 4 houses, you're supposed to upgrade to a hotel, which earns you more money. But then those 4 houses go back into the pool. So instead, you never upgrade to hotels, and you just hoard all the houses, and you deplete the pool, so nobody else can buy property. If nobody else can buy houses, they can't upgrade to hotels, they can't ever take your money. Yeah, you didn't expect to be getting deep dive Monopoly lore, did you, Organic? There's also the fact that everybody plays Monopoly wrong, and some of the digital versions add weird rules and stuff, but, like, free parking is part of the reason some people hate Monopoly. They think that when you land on free parking, something is supposed to happen, like you get free money. That's not true. By giving people free money, you make the game why can't I jump? What is going on? By giving people free money, you're extending the win state of the game, which is to bankrupt your opponents. And we just talked about how the bottom left is the most visited. Well, 9 squares away from the bottom left is the top left, which is where free parking is at. So you actually are like very likely to land over there, surprisingly. Which means that you end up getting a lot of free money when you do that. And it makes the games take forever. If you just stop giving people free money on free parking, your games will go faster. The auction's another contentious rule. Not many people play by the auction house rules. When you land on a space that nobody's purchased, you have the option to buy it, right? That's normal Monopoly. If you choose not to buy it, what's supposed to happen is everybody else gets a chance to buy it, and it goes to auction. Whoever offers the most gets it. So somebody can offer $1 and buy a property if nobody else wants it. And that's what's supposed to be in the game, but nobody really does the auction. If they say I don't want to buy it, nobody else buys it either. Alright. Furthest run of the day. On the topic of Monopoly, did you guys know that there are 2 more Monopoly achievements hidden in the game files for Master Chief Collection? There's an achievement called Boardwalk and Park Place in the game, in the files, that never actually made it to retail, but if you open up the file called Career DB, it's in Master Chief Collection's folder under Data. On PC, it's very easy to find. If you open the Career DB file, you'll find the Boardwalk and Park Place achievements. I've got it organic. What are the achievements for? They were supposed to be tied to beating me specifically. So there's a current achievement that most people know about called Monopolized on Master Chief Collection. It was going to be, or it's in the game. It's for beating Halo 2 in less than 3 hours on Legendary. If there was going to be more achievements tied to me, if you set MisterMonopoli as your rival, like my gamer tag, there's a rival feature in the game. If you use that and beat my specific times, then you would have got Boardwalk and Park Place. They decided to scrap that because it was a little bit too complicated to get implemented, but it would have been pretty cool for them to, like, actually compete against me.
intercettato una trasmissione codificata dal trasporto di rimorso a qualcosa identificato come alta opera. Pare siano delle scuse formali ai profeti della verità e della pietà. Apparentemente, il rimorso ha esagerato attaccando la Terra. Adesso chiede agli altri due di fermare il suo arrivo prematuro, adducendo come scusa che non era prevista la presenza. Questo spiega perché la sua flotta era così esigua.
Yeah, well, we had a couple different discussions. One of the ideas was going to be that we just take my practice times. So I flew out to 343 early to play Master Chief Collection. And so we were going to just take my times, like whatever first try time I did, write those down and make those either be the achievement or it was going to be the rival thing. And neither of them got implemented, unfortunately. But I played through the game a couple times at 343 before it came out and play tested it. So we were going to use those times as like, you know how some games have built-in dev times? I was going to be the dev time. What was my time running back then? I don't remember. I think the world record I had was like a 140, something like 140 or 141, somewhere in that ballpark. But that was on Classic, not Master Chief Collection. MCC was different. Like, no sword flying and some other stuff.
Il trasporto di rimorso ha ricevuto una risposta da alta opera. Un messaggio altamente codificato del profeta della verità. Ecco qui. La tua avventatezza ha compromesso il fine dei Covenant. Ha messo in pericolo il nostro progetto. Se la tua inettitudine resterà celata alla massa, sarà soltanto grazie a pietà e alla saggezza dei suoi consigli. Verità, pietà, rimorso. I tre profeti gerarchi. Uccidendo rimorso dovremmo dare uno scossone ai Covenant. Ma francamente penso che finiremo per fare un favore a verità.
Tutto è perduto!
No, I'm dead. Wait. I'm not actually sure why that guy died. He was supposed to melee. Okay. I lived. How did that guy take damage? Red elites don't die to one sword.
A voi due come va? Finora tutto bene, ci stiamo avvicinando al tempio principale. Ricevuto. Sono il più vicino possibile alla biblioteca, ma c'è una sorta di barriera. Stiamo cercando di aggirarla, vi terrò informati.
Uh-oh. That's gonna be dangerous. That rocket's gonna come. Oh, they're... I'm so scared. Where is this guy? Dude. These rockets are... Okay, we got him. No, I'm gonna die. Was that the Fjord guy that I just shot? Fjord guy's dead, right? Okay, I was worried about getting Fioroded there. back. Where'd I put that? It would take something like 20,000 years to flex on chat.
La flotta Covenant ha lanciato 2 torpedini. Sono troppi per tracciarli. Non ci resta. Ecco i bersagli, eliminiamoli. Questo posto è pieno di guardie d'ombre. Guardati le spalle.
La tua esistenza è un oltraggio, Demon!
Ain't no way. Why won't you look at me? You can't board him from behind. No, 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 no. I didn't want to be looked at like that. Dude, how did I die that fast? That's crazy. That's a crazy death. I don't know if I agree with that. He like, yeah, I could have played a little safer, but man, that was insane. I'm gonna use the restroom. Oh, man. Ugh. Where did I put my phone? Alright, well, we go again. Sorry about the death, but dang, I was getting kind of attached to that run. Do we keep going? I think we keep going. I don't need to call it quits yet. Organic, you were talking about Marble Blast though. Let me make sure it doesn't show my info when I try to sign into this account. Sometimes it does, because I don't tell it to remember me, I think. Hide this. Good. I don't know if you're still here, Organic. You remember this game? This is the game you're looking for. Love me some Marble Blast. Leaderboard still works. Or at least they did last time I was on. I'm really high on the leaderboard. I use an unmodded controller. And to be 161 with an unmodded controller is insane. I think there's only one other player above me who's unmodded. I think his name was Xbox Pro. I think he changed his name. It was Xbox Pro 57. Yeah, I don't see him. He was only a couple ahead of me. But all of these guys use a modded controller, which isn't cheating. It's just where you like take a knife or something and you cut out part of the plastic on your controller. I never wanted to break one of my controllers to do it, but if you roll at a 45-degree angle with a notched controller where you like you cut the plastic, then you can roll a little bit faster. So all of these people are legitimate, but they modify their controller, so we call it like modded versus unmodded. And then once you get to these guys, this is where it becomes unlegit. Everyone above this point is like full-on modded. These are completely fake scores in the 6s. So everyone above 60 is cheated, which means I'm still top 100, which is kind of crazy, even with an unmodded controller. But my times on this game were insane. I used to play a lot. We can tie perfect on this one. Perfect unmodded is 1.12.
Time travel. Time travel. Checkpoint.
There's a time travel right here.
Time travel.
You have to wait for the elevator to fall before you can grab it, though. No, I'm not gonna make it in time.
Time travel. Time travel. Checkpoint.
Oh, come on. I want to get the 1.12. Can you buy my Xbox?
Time.
I mean, it would cost a lot.
Time travel. Time travel. Checkpoint. Time travel.
I don't think you can afford my Xbox.
Checkpoint. Time travel.
No! I fucked it up at the end. You really want this game?
Time.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Time travel.
Is it my original Xbox? Well, I mean, he wants the hard drive. He wants the account with the game associated with it. So yeah, it would be my original stuff.
Time.
I'm not willing to give it away.
Time travel. Time travel.
This game is sick. It's like Monkey Ball, yeah. But better.
Time travel.
I like Monkey Ball, but this game's better.
Super speed.
No.
Time travel.
They're actually not that similar. Like, on Monkey Ball, you took the world around yourself, and you kind of are...
Super speed.
The controls are just completely different. And you're also doing more, like, tightrope walking, and... Like, these are, like, full-on, like, huge platforms that you can roll around on. You collect gems in this... I don't know, they're very different games.
Super speed.
Can't get the speed I want.
Time travel. Time travel. Super
I keep,
speed.
like... That's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, there we go. I remembered. We overshot it. That's crazy.
Time travel.
I think my best is like 7 on this level or something. What is it? 7.6, yeah. This level was always cool. I like the launches you could do. You can get stuck in the wall right here and launch. This game doesn't have custom maps on Xbox, but the franchise does. The Marble Blast Gold and Marble Blast on the PC had a bunch of custom maps. This just has it has beginner, intermediate, and advanced, 20 of each, so 60 total. And then it also had multiplayer. Think we'll find any games? Alright, who's on? Queue up. But yeah, multiplayer was kind of fun. You battle against people with like power-ups and stuff, and you race around the level to try to pick up all the gems. So some people were like really good at the routes. They're random though, so once the last gem is collected, that's when you get the new spawn. So if the other guy is like waiting across the map right now, I wouldn't want to collect this gem because then he's gonna be able to go get the next set of gems. So there's some strategy in doing that, but also there's a time limit, so if you're not winning, you gotta catch up. But being able to like quickly just traverse the level, collect all the gems, it's a pretty fun skill.
Mega Marble. Ultra Blast.
Oh, you're talking about Marble It Up. Yeah.
Super Jump.
Look at that movement. That was cool. Alright, let's get back to the Halo.
Beh, immagino che comunque fosse obsoleta. La tua nuova corazza è una Mark 6, arrivata questa mattina da Song. Baci piano finché non padroneggi le nuove funzioni. Ok, verifichiamo il sistema di puntamento. Guarda la luce in alto. Bene.
The Deathless world record is held by Jerv. The speedrun world record is held by me. I'm trying to do Deathless now, so you might think that the speedrun should be Deathless, but we play intentionally in a way that is like really risky so that we save more time. If you slowed down and played every section with 100% safety, then it's just slower compared to like trying to like go full to the wall. You might die once or twice, but it's still fast. So the current world record has a couple deaths in it, like 3 or 4 or something, but it's 40 minutes faster than Jerv's time. The Deathless world record is a 2-hour 3. The speedrun world record is a 1-hour 20.
Se I tuoi scudi cedono, trovati un riparo e aspetta che l'indicatore ritorni al massimo.
Certo, può nascondersi dietro di me. Allora, hai finito col mio ragazzo? Ormai se la cava anche da solo.
It's hard to beat this game Deathless. It hasn't been done very many times. Only a couple people have ever done it. This is less of like a speedrun and more of a just can I do it.
Quando mi dirai come hai fatto a tornare qui tutto d'un pezzo?
Spiacente, segreto militare.
Vai al diavolo e scordati pure che ti sistemi il mirino della tua A2.
But if I do it, it will be the fastest anyone has ever done it, just by nature of the strategies I'm choosing to do. I'm the world record speedrun holder, so I'm just doing mostly speedrun strats. So I'm probably gonna crush the record by like 20 minutes if I ever complete a run. But I gotta complete one first.
La griglia di difesa orbitale era ancora un progetto nella mente dei politici. E ora guarda, il Cairo è soltanto una delle 300 piattaforme geostazionarie. Il fucile Khan potrebbe trapassare una nave da guerra Covenant. Il fuoco concentrato di Atene e Malta nulla potrebbe superare indenne questa forza da battaglia. È da stamattina che arrivano astronavi. Nessuno dice molto, ma c'è qualcosa di grosso nell'aria.
Allarme. Nemico in avvicinamento.
Bene, eccoti!
Tutte le unità, ai posti di combattimento. Questa non è un'esercitazione. Ripeto, non è un'esercitazione.
Medico! Qualcuno chiami un medico! Maledetto!
Vigilare le porte pressurizzate. Aprire le barriere delle armi.
Get behind the box. Wait, you're alive? I thought I killed you. Chilling up there? Did this guy disappear? Wait a minute. Where's your sword? Found it.
Cortana, quadro tattico.
L'esplosione proveniva dall'interno di Atene, come premalta. L'attacco dei Covenant era mirato all'inserimento di una bomba.
Allora è sicuro che ne hanno portato una anche qui. Provala, capo.
Oh god. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that line. I forgot what it's. I'm so used to English and German and the other languages. I'm on Italian right now. I'm usually listening for a specific line before the door opens. Dude, that elite just had the longest death noise. I thought he was still alive. Dude, I can't do it. I don't know. I should maybe take a break, but I want to keep going. I need to eat. I think I should take a break. I might come back tonight, but I don't know that I have more run in me right now. I'll raid Volt, and I think I am gonna come back tonight, but I need to eat. I haven't really eaten. It is tonight. It's 6 for me, and I mean probably like 3 hours from right now. I'll see you guys. If I'm not back tonight, I'll definitely be back tomorrow. I'm out of here.